Hi, good night, everyone. I just want to make sure that you can all hear me fine and that you can see me fine. Wow, there's already 80 subscribers in this live stream. It's the first time in quite a while that I'm doing a live stream for subscribers as well as the public. Only subscribers can comment. So if you haven't been a subscriber for more than 20 minutes, you won't be able to comment here. So, welcome. As I've said before, I will be doing random live streams from time to time. It won't be a set time, and I will announce them just beforehand. But tonight, there's a couple of things I want to address. There's so many things happening right now that I want to speak about that I don't have the time to put them into separate videos. Hi, Lorenz, Roland. Quantum Light Shaz, Ruben Timms. I want to say hi to all the non-members. There's so many members here in this stream, and this is for everyone else. So we are, we are all the subscribers. Hopefully, we'll have more subscribers joining us, and yeah, let's hope that they come out into the stream. Hi, Cheryl. So I want people that aren't members in these live streams. They have 90 people now. We've had over 800 people in these live chats, and the topics that we cover are very important. In this case, hi Lynette, what we are discussing is that Cadre deployment happened a long time ago. I will explain how this happened and how that's playing out in South Africa right now. And I've put out some videos that some people might find odd, strange, in the new format that I've done. I've done one on gun violence, or the mainstream media putting out information as if guns have actually killed most of the people that have been murdered in South Africa. And then I've made three videos, a pre-video, and then two main videos on the situation around food, specifically vegan food as well as normal meat. And I will explain to you later actually what that is all about, so that you can understand what is happening in the country, open your eyes to it. But Cadre deployment is a very important topic to understand. And tonight I will explain to you how Cadre deployment works, why Cyril Ramaphosa was the first Cadre deployed, and not from the African National Congress, but to the African National Congress. And those of you that have seen the one video on this channel that have had the most views, it's at over 92,000 views now, on the life of Cyril Ramaphosa. I changed the thumbnail on there and I put a picture where the globe was of Cyril Ramaphosa and Harry Oppenheimer in a conversation together. And if you watch that video, and I'll put a link here just now, you will see how Harry Oppenheimer was instrumental in creating who Cyril Ramaphosa is today. And he was the first proper cadre deployed into the African National Congress to bring about a new world order in South Africa. And once you understand how this fits together, then all the other bits and pieces will start to fall into place, and you will see the ANC for what they actually are. Not a government, not a terrorist organization or any of those things, not freedom fighters, just an organization that died in the 1930s, reorganized to make people think it's the same thing, because the original African National Congress was actually a conservative organization, very found in religious and cultural values of morality. And what was created later was something completely different, the same as the whole Afrikaner notion, culture that was created at the same time as the Nazis. Oh, they was just created out of nothing. I just want to switch off this heater that's busy burning my feet right now. So it's important to understand Cyril Ramaphosa's deployment and why he now is fighting against Raymond Zondo, that said that cadre deployment, the fact that there's a committee that decides on cadre deployment within the ANC, why this is problematic. And in the Zondo Commission report, Chief Justice Raymond Zondo said that cadre deployment is not only illegal, it's unconstitutional. Okay? And Cyril Ramaphosa has now officially come out and he has said that this is not true. And I'll give you a link to an article just now. Ramaphosa contradicts Zondo Commission's finding that cadre deployment is unlawful and unconstitutional. In fact, he says, based on the Constitution saying that we need redress, they believe that cadre deployment is absolutely necessary. In fact, he said it shouldn't just happen within state, but in private institutions as well. So you need to understand who this man is to really understand what he will do to the country. And if you watch that video on the life of Cyril Ramaphosa, then you will understand that he comes from a true terrorist background. He supported terrorist organizations, not in South Africa, outside of South Africa. He was put in prison a couple of times because of his affiliation with these organizations. And he's an extremely dangerous man because of his beliefs. And I don't know why people think for some reason that he's a capitalist. He's just a capitalist as long as he can be given money and take money from other people. But he doesn't believe in anything like that for you and for me. In fact, he believes that everyone should be controlled, that all their financials should be known. And I will cover a couple of things just now that proves that. And how Cyril had to be deployed to bring a new world order into being in South Africa. And it's backfiring completely. So it's not working out too well. And, at the end of the day, if they don't succeed in their plan, and when I say they, I have clarified who that is in detail. In my 00 Days meetings, if you go and watch the meetings, I lay out the names of the people very specifically. It's all over this channel. You can go and find it. And if you're not sure, you can upgrade to the 00 Days meeting membership and you can go and watch that meeting. It's 7.5 hours long and you will get all the detail there. And I will give you the link to the video on Cyril Ramaphosa's life, and you can watch the introduction video to that as well. I, in fact, think that is probably more important to actually watch the introduction. But it's called Who is Cyril Ramaphosa? And I'm going to give you the link now. The comments are running so fast, I can't even see. So there's a link to that video, the live on Cyril Ramaphosa. We have over 300 people watching now. Welcome to this channel. I haven't done a live chat for the subscribers in a long time. Only the subscribers can comment. Go, if you have not watched the video on Cyril Ramaphosa's live, or if you have watched it a long time ago, go and watch that video again and understand who and what he is. I'm going to probably make shorter clips in the same format as I have recently on Cyril Ramaphosa's life on certain aspects so that people can understand who this man really is. Because what he's doing now is really a link to the 7-hour video. Antoinette, you can get that. It's only in that membership section. So if you go to, there's 3 membership levels. The highest level, you will find that meeting at that level. It's available for anyone that wants to go and view it, and there's over 200 people that have watched it already. So if you go and follow that link to the video, you can go and watch that video on Cyril Ramaphosa's life. Very soon it will go over 100,000 views. So for some reason, it has resonated with people. People shared that video. And they thought that the content is important. It is 38 minutes long, so it's not short. So make some time to sit down and watch that detail. And make sure to look at the pictures I put out at the beginning. Look at those pictures intently. Even pause on your laptop or your PC and look at who he's with. And then you will start to understand what is going on. So Cyril Ramaphosa was the first real cadre to be deployed. He also created this cadre deployment committee. And within the ANC, what happened is the ANC was captured as an organization. to be used to create this new world order narrative and eventually collapse the country's economy, collapse Eskom, all the state entities. So everything that's happening now is going according to plan, except for one thing. We are not changing the way they want us to change. They want to change our lifestyles. So when I put out these videos on vegan food and meat, it's not meat versus vegan food. That's what they want to make it out to be. And that is why with a video on guns, I had the word irony on the front, because the person in that picture, and my wife came up with an idea for that picture. She's a brilliant person. There's a machine gun attached to someone's leg. Now, in the video, I say that guns are running around, that they have arms and legs. So the irony is there already. The fact that the government's blaming guns for the violence that's happening out there. They're not saying that people are using guns to kill people. No. They are saying blatantly that guns are killing people. It's a narrative being driven. And then a lot of people say, but why would they want to take all the vegan food off the shelves based on the fact that they're using associated names associated with meat? It's all about the names. It's about nothing else. And a lot of people don't get this. And thanks, Derek, for actually understanding what's going on. Derek made some beautiful comments, and I wish people would go and read it. It makes me feel good when someone actually knows what the story is. So what is happening is the words used to define things is what is important here. So what they want is for all vegan products to not use words like patty, mince, sausage, etc. Because later, they don't want those products influenced when they start attacking the meat market. Okay, listen carefully to what I'm saying. They don't want those products affected when they start to attack the meat market, because they don't want any meat consumed worldwide, the elites. There's a reason for this, okay? And I'm not going to go into that detail now. So I'm not a vegan, and I'm not against veganism at all. I mean, I believe that one day, if we live our highest form of being, not in the state we're in now, we won't be consuming animals at all. And whether you like that or not is irrelevant. We won't be in the same state of form with the same urges that we have right now. So one thing that's important now to understand is that Cyril Ramaphosa was the biggest cadre deployed in the country's history. And what is he doing now? He's going out and he is going against Raymond Zondo. And in direct contradiction to a finding of the Zondo Commission, President Cyril Ramaphosa argued that the ANC's cadre deployment policy was not unconstitutional. This was stated in his response to the DA's court bid to outlaw the policy. Ramaphosa denied the ANC had deployed a coterie of individuals implicated in state capture. And this shouldn't be about state capture. There should be no such a thing as cadre deployment. It's divisionist. It is meant to break things down. This happened within Eskom, within the railways, within SAA. It happened everywhere. Furthermore, Ramaphosa revealed it was not only the public sector to which it wanted to deploy its cadres, but the private sector as well. People he's only gotten started. So if he was your superhero before during COVID, hopefully you've changed your mind by now. The man is your enemy. And I will plead to him again. Change your behavior, because I don't think things are going to end well for you in future. You know, there's so many people that are becoming your enemies because of your behavior. So I recommend that you change your behavior, because we need stability in the country. It's very important. This could lead to further court action from the DA. So the DA might decide to also take them to court over the fact that he wants to deploy cadres in the private sector. Can you imagine that? And I will show you now how they are starting to control the private sector. You will remember that there was a plan for political parties to actually say how much money they're being donated, okay? And this was passed in the Concord saying, yes, political parties need to make public the money that they earn. Ramaphosa then went and created legislation where they said that everything over 100,000 Rand needs to be declared publicly. Okay? It needs to be declared to the IEC and publicly. But what has happened behind the scenes is complete and utter control, worse than any communist country in the world. What that legislation says that any political party, even if not represented, needs to show any bit of income to the government. Now, this isn't just cadre deployment. This is them wanting to know all about the DA, the EFF, everyone else's finances. And this is not just the African National Congress. It is the people deploying them as cadres, the people that want this new world order in the country. And I will use one example of this, okay? And if you actually look at this, it's quite frightening. It says, government says it plans to yank registration from Daimler, Lyceum, City Varsity, and Ikesa, who have been institutions of learning for many years because they don't want to give the government their full financial statements. Why on earth should a private institution provide every bit of income and financial statements to the government? Why is this necessary? And I'm not defending any of these institutions. I have a huge problem with most of them. But I want you to understand what the government is starting to do. And I mean every last cent of their income, whether it's fundraising or whatever. Where is that information going? What is the government doing with it? Can you see where this is leading? This is seriously messed up. And I will give you a link to this article now. The one where Ramaphosa is literally fighting against Chief Justice Raymond Zondo. There's a link to that article. And then I'm going to give you a link to the article where it shows how City Varsity and all of these learning institutions have to give the government every inch of their income. And I mean, any communist state, I mean, this doesn't even happen in China. And I'm not saying the Chinese don't know about every cent of income. Our government demands that you give a full audited declaration to them of all your income. It's utter madness. We are not a democracy, and I really want people to understand why we cannot be called a democracy, why it's impossible to call us a democracy because of these things. So the one thing it says here, 4 higher education institutions are being pre-warned that their registration will be cancelled. The Department of Higher Education said on Friday. And I mean, Lyceum has been around since 1917. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Daimler since 1943. So they've been around forever. All 4 are owned by the same holding company, Educor. The institution failed to submit 2020 financial statements as they are legally obliged to do, the department said. Why are laws being passed now to force higher institutions of learning to give their financial statements to government? What for? And I don't care if government gives them funds for anything. You should not have to show every bit of your income to government. The Department of Higher Education actually published this in a gazette to these higher learning institutions, saying to them that you are going to be deregistered. So they've already done this. That notice provides the institutions an opportunity to take action before they are actually deregistered, which would also be by way of a gazette notice. So they say once they are deregistered, it will also be gazetted so that the whole country can see that the government has removed their right to be higher learning institutions. I tell them just continue with what you are doing. I mean, if you actually see how freedoms are being removed in this country right now, you know, if you look at the other articles I'll be covering, you will see how this starts to fit together. So the narrative on our food is a very important narrative. And this last video I put out today, not a lot of people have viewed it. It's starting to pick up now. It's very important that people understand what is happening, because people clearly from the comments misunderstand what this is about, misunderstand what the gun situation is about. And people should be really concerned, because once you understand the narrative, you will see that things other than government or the person involved will be blamed so that a new order can be created. And this is very, very important for the end plan. It talks here about the South African Reserve Bank, and this is in MoneyWeb. Get with the crypto program. Now, I've told people many times, and a lot of people think they are crypto boffins. It's fine if you're a crypto boffin. I actually don't give a hoot how boffiny you are on cryptocurrency. You need to understand what crypto was created for. If you don't understand it, I can't help you. But in future, you will understand and you will see plain as day what cryptocurrency was created to do. And no, it was not to make you free from the Reserve Bank, because here the Reserve Bank is telling the banks to get with the program. They're telling them to get crypto on board. Our Reserve Bank has already gone and created and experimented with digital rands. Why is that happening? They're doing that with many other countries. I've already covered that in a video. Most people didn't even bother watching it. And I always say, if you don't want to do the research and you don't want to find the information or my perspective, that's fine. Live with the repercussions. I would advise you to watch those videos so you can understand. And otherwise, droll guidance note to banks tells him to start hiring people who understands cryptos. So this is the Reserve Bank giving South African banks instructions. Why on earth does an entity that's not elected, that has nothing to do with our government, give instructions to what is happening in the country's financial system? Have you ever wondered why that is? And to the members of my channel, I've given them links to the real reports that our government sends to the Securities and Exchange Commission. Beyond all the fake twak that is out there, that so many people are putting out there, my members can get the truth. If you go down the community tab for members, you will be able to find those links and you can go and look at the reports yourself that we submit every 6 months, every month, every year. And if there's a monthly change or whatever, you can go and read it. It's available to everyone. Most people are just not aware of it. And no, we are not a company. It's far worse than that. The day that you are born, you become collateral, and you will see in those reports how the company, how our country has to grovel to the Securities and Exchange Commission so that money can be printed and loaned to us. And how we are the collateral for that. They discuss the political parties. They discuss our political system. They discuss all of those things in detail, all our assets, our minds, and everything else, so that they can try and say, but we have all these things. We have all these humans that will work their freaking butts off to pay tax, to pay you back your money. Literally. And I've discussed in my Double Days meetings in detail how you become an asset in lieu of money being loaned to the country. The day you're born and you get an ID number. I'm not telling people to go and remove their ID numbers. Don't be stupid. You will not be able to function in the country and fight the system if you do that. So, in a note issued this week, the South African Reserve Bank advises banks that risk assessment does not necessarily mean avoiding risk entirely by, for example, terminating client relationship with crypto asset service providers. Crypto companies have complained long and hard about their treatment by banks, several of which terminated bank relationships because of the perceived risk. Why would reserve banks be supporting cryptocurrency entities with banks? Why would they be doing that if these so-called cryptocurrencies were supposed to collapse the central banking system? Don't be an absolute idiot. You need to understand what is actually happening. The Council of 13 Families created the idea of cryptocurrencies. The Committee of 300 implemented it worldwide, and everyone else fell for a hook, line, and sinker. And I'm not saying you can't make an absolute fortune in fiat currency out of it, but fiat currency can become zero overnight. Just remember that. So there's a lot that we've covered already, and there's a lot more to cover. And the reason why I have to, the Reserve Bank article, let me just give you a link to that. Why I need to cover these things is because it's very important for the immediate future in the country, especially in the lead up to the end of the year and in the lead up to 2024. There's so many things that needs to happen before 2025 for this new order to be created in the country. And like I say, at the moment, they are failing dismally at what they are trying to do. So it's not working out that well. So we have Ramaphosa telling the Zondo Commission straight up, himself, that no, we should deploy cadres not just in government, but also, and I'm not talking about so-called elected officials, I'm talking about positions everywhere in government structures. The government structures are much bigger than political parties and MPs and MPLs and all the rest, and all their crony assistants. So they are deploying cadres everywhere, including in all the state-owned entities. He's saying it unscrupulously. And he has no problem with it. Now he wants to deploy cadres in the private sector. It's a complete takeover of the country, a financial takeover. And that is why my father said the only way for us to work against this global evil that wants to take our freedom to make choices away is a financial takeover. There is no other way to do it. If you understand their method and the means that they've created to take over the country, we can only do it by doing the opposite, by a financial takeover from our side. And I've discussed that in detail in my Double O Days meetings. So the next thing I want to discuss is what has happened with Cyril Ramaphosa with regards to the Palapala scandal, so-called Palapala scandal. If you look at the money, they've come out and said that there was $600,000 for one freaking koei, one cow, okay? And, you know, if people believe this twak, they deserve what's coming to them. And you will still see in the near future how they needed to use cash, because at Nasrec, all of those bank account transactions were tracked. Remember the spy equipment that was bought specifically to spy on the transactions that was happening during Nasrec. And the big mess that's happened with the spooker, as they call them, the ghosts, that these briefcases that have spy equipment in it that can literally look at what every cell phone is doing, every transaction that's happening at the venue, and how that was used, how it was deployed proverbially by Jacob Zuma to actually prove that CR17 was bought. And I have ample evidence for that. All intelligence has evidence for that. They all know. And the Concord said specifically that it doesn't have to be revealed to the public how much money was spent to elect Cyril Ramaphosa as president of the ANC. Because you can now track all those financial transactions, they needed to find a new way to elect this Bliksem next time around and keep him there. So they have to do it with foreign currency, dollars. Very, very clever. And that is where that money was going to be used. And it doesn't matter what he has to say. It's not his freaking money. So he's in deep trouble that this came out. And Arthur Fraser knows exactly what he's doing. I'm not saying these are good people, okay? I'm saying that they know exactly what they're doing. I think they're covering for each other left, right, and center, and stabbing each other in the back left, right, and center. And at the end of the day, we need to work ourselves through all of this, come out the other end with something intact for us and our kids, because that is what we need to end up with. And there are certainly plans afoot to make that possible. Self-reliance is one of those plans, and I'm not going to hop on that right now. So Cyril is under massive pressure from all angles, but at the end of the day, the people that are his handlers, the people that deployed him as a cadre, they don't subject themselves to the laws of this country. There's no jail in this country that will ever imprison them. There is no court in this country that will ever find them guilty, because they created the court system, they created the constitution, they created this governance system. It's beneath them. They are above the law for real, because they created this playing field. So Cyril Ramaphosa has no choice but to do what they want. And his life is under threat if he does not. You know, at the end of the day, you need to decide if you are willing to sell the country out the way that he has, maybe you should be willing to sacrifice all to redeem yourself. So, Cyril, I hope you're listening. And you can get a link to this article here. And you can go and watch that. We have over 500 people watching now. Welcome. If you came in later, please go and watch from the beginning of this video. Please like it because this is a public video. We want as many people as possible to watch this. We want this video to become really, really big and for people to see how Cyril Ramaphosa was the first biggest cadre deployed, not by the ANC, but by the organization, the people that created the African National Congress and everything that they're doing today. So please like and share this video. So how do you feel about the fact that they actually want to go and absolutely trounce these learning institutions? And I'm not saying that these are good learning institutions at all. I have a huge problem with most learning institutions. There you have the article again. But the fact that they have to lay their finances bare to the government, it's absolutely ridiculous. Then, the last and final thing that I want to get to before I will take some questions. Steenhuisen. So if you're a DA supporter, you're not going to like this. But, you know, there's two articles. The one is in Times Live. The other one's also in Times Live. And in the first one, it speaks of him getting rid of Nastasia Mazon, posting her somewhere else, choosing a new chief whip in parliament. And he contradicts himself so badly. He looks like a grade R pupil really stuffing up because he's being interrogated because he kissed a girl around the corner. He's in trouble now. And now he's coming up with this pre-grade R twak. And he's expecting us to believe this nonsense. So I'm going to do a detailed video on this. It'll probably be 2 minutes long. It'll be in the new format. And you're going to laugh your gut off. But, you know, Mampara of the week, John Steenhuisen, how on earth can he say that it's not about color when he uses the words color? How can they say that they are a multiracial party when he has to divide people with color? The man is absolutely off his rocker. The things that he said about his ex-wife and many other things, there's something wrong with the man. And anyone that supports any movement that has a leader like that and think, oh, but the movement is bigger than him. The fact that he is the leader in that movement, you should be shocked to the core. It is absolutely pathetic. And the way that they're doing things is even more pathetic. So the DA will wither into nothingness. Very soon, they will cease to exist. And I can't wait for that day to actually happen. I wasted too much time in my life. And I can admit that I was wrong to spend 3.5 years funding them, supporting them, using my fuel, providing my staging, sound, lighting for campaigns for the DA. Because it was clear that that movement was there to do one thing and one thing only, get more control over the people of the country. Everything that they are implementing now is to control us more. And they are just aiding the African National Congress in this cadre deployment mission. So, John Steenhuisen is another cadre that has been deployed. He doesn't even know it. He's that stupid. And, you know, the words that come out of his mouth is absolutely, absolutely shocking. So we don't have an official opposition. And this is another point that I want to make. We should not have a governance system where there is an opposition. We should have a governance system where people are elected into a forum where they can discuss, debate, and improve things for the country. Representatives. And I don't think we're that far off coming up with something better, which we can continue improving on. And there are definitely movements working towards that at the moment. And that is very important to understand that it exists. The movements are there that'll make those changes. And it's not always who you think it is. And there's a lot of people that are copy-pasters out there, and that is fine. At the end of the day, even when John Steenhuisen says that we can crush the bug, you know, it's gotten under his skin. It's really, really bugging him badly. So, yes, For him to be branded Mampara of the Week, he's doing a sterling job of that. Besides the fact that he's starting to look like one, you know, the words that comes out of his mouth, and I'll quote, "I was looking at where we are strong and where we needed to improve things." What are things? And looking at where the risk for the party lies going forward. It's something I've been talking and thinking about for a while. When I was in Kenya, I had time to sit and reflect on what I want to do and where I want things to go. So the changes are a reflection of that. Die man is mal. You can't miss the importance. This is the youngest and first black female opposition chief whip, he says. That is a significant thing, he says. She is there not because of that, but because she is competent. The guy is a complete idiot, but it is also hugely symbolic, he said. He's just negated everything he said before. You know, it is so pathetic and cringeworthy. I don't know why the people actually tolerate this nonsense. It is absolutely shocking. So there is the one on John Steenhuisen. Here's his grand prize of the week, Mampara of the Week article. You can enjoy watching those links. And I'll just give you the link to the preview to Cyril Ramaphosa again, and then Cyril Ramaphosa, and then I'll take questions. There's the preview video link. And here's the main video link to the video on Cyril Ramaphosa's life. Hi, Phil. Okay, there they are. So thanks for joining me. I didn't want this to be much longer than 36 minutes. If you've got any questions, please shoot. Ask me any question. There's over 500 people watching now. It's really a good turnout. Please like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not yet. You won't be able to comment if you're not subscribed. If you're subscribed, in future you'll be able to comment in these videos. And I'll be trying to do one of these a week. They'll be short and sweet, so it's not going to take too much of your time. Okay, watching from the UK, welcome, Jones. If you've come in later, then you can go and watch from the beginning. But we really need to reach a larger group of South Africans now. So I'm testing various formats for the videos on the channel so that I can be more YouTube worthy, so to speak, and get the content to a greater reach of people. And the last couple of videos I've put out have certainly done that. So a lot of the people that are normal, regular subscribers or members have not necessarily watched those videos. I have had over 60% of the people watching the videos from YouTube recommends. So the people on the channel are only 20 to 30% of those watching the videos. It's exactly what I wanted to achieve. Bringing new people in, exposing them to the channel so that they can start looking at the information. And then hopefully in future through these live streams, they can understand what we are trying to do. Go and look at the older videos, the Moments in Time and Question Everything series. And then we can get more people to start thinking about what is actually going on. And our Cyril Ramaphosa is the first proper Cadre deployed, not by the ANC, into the ANC. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I will take your questions now. Yeah, please like and share. Please discuss what is going to happen in the future with regards to meat, vegan meat. I've seen the ad for bugs, but I think that is just a distraction. So the bug thing is way more serious than most people understand. So in the dystopian future that we are facing, not the science fiction, you need to listen to what people say that serve on the committee of 300. People like Bill Gates. He actually is a committee member. Same as the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab. He is a committee of 300 member. Listen to what he says. Whether you hate the guy or not, you need to know what they are telling you. This is vitally important because what they are telling you is the future that's being planned. They are preparing you for it. The Bavarian Illuminati plan was always that we would make things happen for them. so they don't have to force it on us. It's becoming a bit messy now, especially in South Africa, because they have to try and nudge everywhere they can. So the attack on the vegan products is not about trying to remove vegan products and being in favor of meat. The plan is purely to segregate them from the meat names. It is about patty, biltong, sausage, mince, etc. That is the thing. And the interdict in the court was for mince and patty. I mean, those words, it's literally about words. This is much bigger than the products, people. Because in future, it'll be those words that'll be attacked, and then they want to attack animal products. They wanted to be specific to that. They want all the people that are creating these alternatives to use different names, so that there's a clear distinction between animal products and vegetable products. They want the divide to be clear. This is what this is about. Once that happens, the meat products will be attacked like you cannot believe in this country. Because, I told people a while back, I remember it's on the second time we went through Gauteng on the Double O Days tour. I made a video where I said, one day you will not be allowed to braai in this country. And people probably laughed at me. And it's okay. I've had so many people laugh at me. I can tell you, once they've listened to me and they see things happen, they won't laugh at me anymore, because it's going to affect their lives. And then they'll start thinking, and I've had people phone me at the ridiculous time saying, Desmond, why are you right? How do you know this stuff? Everything is on this channel. You can just go and watch the videos. I don't hide anything from you. Why I know these things, I lay it out. Go and watch, and then decide what you want to do with it. So thanks a lot for joining us tonight. Yeah. Ross says, don't forget plant butter. Letlotli, hi, Des. What do you think of Fauci's resignation? I don't actually know that Fauci is resigned. To me, Fauci is not a committee of 300 members. He's just a pawn that's being used. He's been fomenting their work for many, many years. Just remember, South Africa had a key stake in what happened around the world around COVID. South Africa was involved years ago in providing what was needed for this to start. And I've laid this out on this channel plainly. It might be difficult for people to go back and go and view the content, but it's there. It's on this channel. This channel has over 1,000 videos. It's a lot to work through. It's 2 years worth of work, but it's there. Spend the time. A lot of people have made the effort. Do it. Yeah, Wingnut wants to block all chimneys. Literally, Ross. Literally. Hi, T-Man. Please continue to share your insights with us. For sure. I can't stop. I have kids. I have a family. I want to protect them. So I can't do that. Mtobisi, hi, what do you think about Nklantla Lux? Is he bringing something good to table about change for the better, or just another puppet being used for something else? I looked at a couple of things, Mtobisi, and I'm undecided right now. There are some red flags. I haven't spoken to him, so I don't know. But the moment you get mainstream media and you want to be in the mainstream media, it's a red flag for me instantly. Instantly. You will never see me being in the mainstream media unless they want to do something on me and I have no control over it. I refused all interviews from huge YouTube channels back in the day. And there's a reason for that. We have to stay clean in what we do. I've been accused of anything you can imagine, and I've withstood the test of time, because truth at the end of the day will always come out, and the best plan will always win. Coast, yeah, toast. Toast, Tammy. There's lots of toast happening. George, hi, listening to all of this, where is everything going to end? George, in my membership meetings, I do go into quite a bit of detail, and I have. So even if you go back to my Moments in Time and Question Everything series videos, it's there available for all of the public. Go and go to the playlist Moments in Time and the Question Everything series playlist. They're all in order. Go and watch those videos. It'll tell you where things are going. Okay. Pit mosquito, is food and mouth disease used the same? No, it's actually way more powerful, pit mosquito, because I like that name. It's hilarious. The foot and mouth disease, what's happening now is the movement of cows are becoming a huge problem. So you'll see this attack on the naming of meat products, and at the same time, you have a ban on the movement of cattle. And I mean, this was gazetted. Uh, and if you look at the whole picture happening, how is it going to influence us actually having food in the country in the near future? It's not going to become a crisis right now. It's a forerunner and a test. They want to see how people respond. The courts have to be tested. There's so many things that have to happen. And I'm not against things being tested in the courts or the courts being tested, because then the people can see that the court is just as corrupt. And then that is a driver for system change, because at the end of the day, we need to change the political system in the country to one where we can not only directly elect our leaders, but where we change the governance system, the schooling system, the policing system, the military. I mean, we don't have a military at this stage. There's so many things that we need to fix, and we first need to fix ourselves. So if we don't fix ourselves, we don't stand a chance in hell. And that's what we've been doing on the ground. Darwin, hi Xavier. Australians already have to apply their municipality to barbecue. Absolutely, Xavier. They want to come for us, but don't think they will succeed. Now, I can't see a national bride. Yeah, I can't see how they will succeed here. Hi, Walter. Oh, you upgraded to the meeting. You can go and watch the meeting now. Not just that, Walter. If you've upgraded to the meeting, that meeting is 7.5 hours long. It condenses everything that I've done during the Double O Days tour. If you're new here, many people don't know, but I toured South Africa during COVID. During level 5, level 4, all the levels, I toured the country, and we had gatherings where, later on we had gatherings of up to 200 people, where people came out. There was no media. We didn't put it on social media. The people just came together, and I told them what I knew. And the people asked for this. I didn't even plan it. And they supported this tour, and our family toured for almost a full 2 years. And during that time, we had over 300 meetings. We visited with over 10,000 South Africans. That kick-started something on the ground that cannot be stopped. So the critical mass is there. You might not have seen it yet, but you will see the talk already out there in society. The whole idea of directly electing our leaders. What Zondo put in his report. We started a whole movement, and it really took South Africa by storm. And there's many people that we use, and they don't even know that they are being used to put these ideas forward all the time, and they can clobber each other while we sit back and just watch. And this is what you have to do at the end of the day. You have to be more clever than them. And it's working. A lot of these people are really stupid. They want power, because I don't want power. I don't want a leadership position. I'm a nuclear professional. I'm a very well-paid nuclear professional when I'm doing work in the nuclear industry. So these people can't buy me. That makes it almost impossible for them to have any control over me. I'm not part of an organization that funds me or anything like that. They hated the fact that I started membership on this channel, because this channel is self-supporting, and it makes it impossible for them to control us. They just can't do it. Okay, there's been so many comments here. Darwin, hi. Someone earlier asked your thoughts on the ANC Integrity Commission Ingonyama Trust take over the same week and the coronation of the new Zulu King. I believe this new Zulu King, while there were two so-called coronations. The one was a ceremony, like an induction ceremony that was supposed to take place after the coronation, and then a coronation. So there's two groups that believe that they have their own kings. At the end of the day, Cyril Ramaphosa accepted this king. It tells you only one thing: he will relinquish the Ingonyama Trust. Those negotiations have already started. They'll give him big fat money, and then all of that land will be used by the people that control this country. I've spoken about that at length in my Double O Days meetings in the past, the detail. 110 likes. We had 321 likes. There's 501 people viewing now. Welcome. So the more likes we can get, the more people will be able to see this video. So yes, Tracy, yep, Brian is not green and will be banned. Well, for many other reasons. It's not just about the green or not green. It's about control. And if people don't understand it's about controlling your life and you handing over your freedom, then you're missing the point completely. So once again, you can go and watch the Moments in Time and Question Everything series on this channel. It's in playlists. It's all in order. Some of those videos will be added to, like the Question Everything series and Moments in Time series. They have grown substantially over time, so people have viewed them, but they need a lot more views for people to really comprehend where I come from and why I'm relevant in giving information. And then people can do with that information what they want. I tell the people, don't believe me. I'm not going to be your leader. I'm not going to be your savior. I'm not going to be any of these other Tom, Dick, and Harrys flying around out there in the country. You need to save yourself. If you're a religious person, you should believe that you need saving, that the difference will be added for you, whatever it might be, whether you're Muslim, Christian, Hindu, or whatever. But I believe what you should do, no matter what your belief is become self-reliant. In other words, learn to look after yourself. That way you take over that financial system that is enslaving people across the world. It's so important that you separate yourself from it. And if you want to become entrenched in the crypto market, enjoy what's coming your way. Just enjoy it, okay? When it happens, you won't know what hit you. And it'll happen so fast. The same thing will happen with fiat currency at one stage. Not yet. It should happen close to 2030 or just after 2030. Fiat currency, as we see it, will collapse completely. It'll become naught overnight, literally, because it has nothing backing it up, like bugger all. And it's all part of a plan. Why do I know about this plan? Once again, go and watch the Moments in Time and Question Everything series. I give you all the detail there. Helper Leli, I feel sorry for this country and its people. Instability is inevitable. You know, Helper, at the end of the day, instability will happen and can happen in sections of the country. It will never happen throughout the entire country in one go. The people of South Africa are too resilient, because we are that resilient to the point of just, it's like we can get flogged all the time and we will just get up and survive. During COVID, when people couldn't get their normal food or go to the shops, people stood in long queues to get food. They didn't go and plunder the whole country. That's not what happened. So at the end of the day, if you look at the people of South Africa, they are peace-loving people. Even in that video where they're trying to blame guns for things happening. If I have to break down how isolated those incidents are, in other words, there's areas where it's absolute abject chaos and other areas where there's a massive relative peace. So we are a country with hectic contradictions within zones and areas. That is what is happening. And you have to see it in that context. You can't say because in a specific area there were so many murders in a month that is indicative of what's happening in a 10K radius around that area. That's not the case. And that is part of a legacy that's been created for so long and that's been blamed, etc. At the end of the day, it's about human beings and how they behave, whether because of their religion, their culture, or whatever. I don't care. If you behave like a flippant savage, you should be treated like a savage, and the society should take care of you like you take care of savages. And what people did back in the day is put the people outside the city walls so you can fend for yourself. You shouldn't be in my community if you want to behave in a way that we don't accept. And that is what common law is. It's a very simple principle. Chimbuzi, RSA is resilient. Some try to trigger chaos, but we will never get tripped into darkness willingly. Absolutely. And that's what makes us such a special country. And, I actually said to someone yesterday that there's two places in the world that'll never go down completely to this New World Order nonsense. And that is a portion of the United States and South Africa. And the Southern African region. And we're very unique for many reasons, and very similar for many reasons. So that is what makes the people resilient. They want to remain free. And because people don't want to be told what to do, they will get rid of anything that tries to force anything on them. So at the end of the day, we will just be left alone, and then we can build up our own country the way we want, not with outside influence telling us what to do. And we have to do it across all religions, all cultures, all ethnic groups. That is vital for the country to have success. And people that don't want it, that they are divisive. I want nothing to do with you. You're not my friend because you are trying to cause instability in the country. I want nothing to do with you. And you will find that in most of the so-called elected political parties at the moment in parliament, you will find that divisiveness. They speak divisive words all the time. When last have you heard the word love out of any of their mouths? And I want to end off there. It's almost an hour now. Love is a magical power in the universe that was not only used to create the universe, but is used to get the best out of us as humans, humanity, because we are not mere organisms. People that want to tell you that, their whole goal is to break down humanity to the point where you relinquish the fact that you're human, you relinquish the fact that you're a man or a woman, relinquish the fact that you want to get married and have children, relinquish the fact that you are young or old, relinquish the fact that you are part of a culture or religion, relinquish the fact that you're part of a country. All of those things have to be done away with to create a one world government that will be run by abject evil. And people will think that this evil is wonderful because it's feeding me, it's giving me water. And that is why water, food, shelter, everything I need. In a smart city, I'll get the food, I'll get the water, I'll get everything I need. I'll get fast internet because Klaus Schwab says so. You will own nothing and you will be happy. You won't own a bicycle, a car, nothing. And when he says that, he absolutely means it because he understands precisely what is being planned because he sat in those committee meetings, just like my father did back in 1984. And that is why I have so much information. Because I could make that link, not just for South Africa, but in the rest of the world. And I can see through everything that's happening now because I know their plan from beginning to end. I know which plan is being used to subject us and fool us into thinking that we should give up our freedom for our safety, to live, to survive. So many threats are being created to make us think that we are going to die from this, we are going to die from that. And many threats will be very real. But you should be willing to die to remain free. This is what I advocate for, because freedom of choice should always come before protection of life. This is the crux at the end of the day. And they want to tell us that we should give up our freedom to choose so that we can stay alive. And they will create the events, the threats to enable that. And into every single so-called democratic constitution in the world, something was built in called a state of emergency that can be used at any stage worldwide with the right threat to take everyone's freedom away at the same time. Think about what I'm saying now. This is very possible in future, and there's many threats that can be used to foment that. Thank you very much for watching. Please like this video. We have almost 400 likes, 392 likes now, just over 500 people watching. Go and watch the beginning of the video if you came in later. And please share the link so that as many people as possible can watch this. And if you want to, you can become a member of this channel. You'll be able to watch all the past members live streams. There's so many of them. If you become an interactive member, then once a month, the last Wednesday of every month, and this month it's on the last day of the month, the 31st, the Wednesday, we come together in an interactive Zoom meeting where you can discuss things with me directly and talk to me and say your say. It's more interactive. And then if you go to the Double O Days meeting, you will be able to watch that meeting is there. And for the people that are interactive, I have gone and loaded both the previous meetings again. For anyone that have missed them, just send me an email, and then I can give you the link to that meeting, and then you will be able to watch it. So it is on YouTube, but I can restrict that to only specific people. YouTube has made that function available to me. They have also invited me, given me a special invite as an influencer in South Africa to be able to give input into YouTube and how it works. And I thought long and hard about it and decided that I want to say how we want to influence a platform such as YouTube, especially the fact that when I do membership live streams, it counts again against the algorithms because there's only a certain amount of people watching, not like in this video, and it affects things greatly. And we want to get this news out to as many people as possible. And I've not been good in the past at doing that. I've just put out info as much as possible. I've not done what YouTube needs for you to do to grow the channel or anything like that. So the 42,800 subscribers we have is purely by chance that people have wanted to be subscribed to the channel. I've chased so many people off the channel with the things that I've said. I'm very straightforward. I'm not nobody's celebrity. I'm nobody's savior. I'm nobody's leader. I'm not going to be any of those things. I have a lot of information. I have a lot of experience. And I have a lot to offer with regards to training people on certain things. And the people that want to be a part of that, you can choose to do that. And it's a wonderful community. We have almost 1,000 members on this channel. And every Thursday, we meet together for an hour and a half to 2 hours. And, you can be a part of that if you want to. And we normally have 150 to 200 people in those meetings. And a lot of the people watch it later. So if you want to be a part of that, thank you very much to those of you that have supported this channel for so long, that supported the tour and all the meetings. You will see throughout this year and next year all the benefits of everything that we have done together. It's been a mammoth effort, and we are succeeding. So this is really, really awesome. Thank you so much for joining in. Have an awesome evening, and remember, love conquers all. If you use the word love in your life, show love to other people. Go and just show kindness to a stranger tomorrow by greeting them, looking at their name tag in the shop, whether it's a petrol attendant, someone behind the counter, and just be nice to that person. And we can really transform the country just through the power that love has. Thank you very much. Good night, everyone.